And now Aven Peran, Head of Public Relations at Exip, will close this amazing set.
Spasiba, Maria. Thank you very much for that introduction. Glad to be here. And I appreciate and thank the SYNOPSIS team for putting this together. My name is Aven Peran. I am the community manager and relationship manager for Exip. I've been asked to tell you a little bit about Exip and what we are about. But a brief idea about what really turns me on about this whole Exip project at this point in time. I've always been a person who is not very fond of being controlled by anybody, whether that is the government, whether that is a big corporation, anybody for that matter who exerts so much of control over our lives and basically gets us to do what they want us to do. Now, this was pretty evident in the last couple of years. It has been really evident with, let's take the COVID situation. I mean, everybody has used this as a way to monopolize their power, as a way to block people from doing certain things, as a way to censor their speech. I mean, even to the point of censoring the president of the United States at one time. All right. So what we have come up with at Exip is a possible solution to one little aspect of life, and that's the internet, more specifically, the domain names. And the fact that it started off a long time ago with a little bit of control and a little bit of design and control by a couple of organizations, and then grew up to be a global phenomena, and still today is controlled by these two supposedly nonprofit organizations, supposedly that don't have an axe to grind with anybody, but yet time after time we have seen them come in and hastily or with influence manage to, I would go as far as to say, destroy countries, organizations, for whatever reasons that they think, or they're forced to think, or they're made to follow, and basically, you know, make their own decisions. So when Exip came up with this concept of, hey, why don't we allow people to have complete autonomous control over their own websites, over their own domain names, and even go as far as their own TLDs, which is the .coms and the .info and the you name it, .biz. But we are still supposed to work within the parameters that were set up for us by ICANN and IAM. So if I wanted to say .Aven, for example, I couldn't do it. Or I'd have to pay millions of dollars to get them to approve that and then have it available to the rest of the world. Well, this is the beauty of Exip. This is the beauty of the blockchain. This is the beauty of combining the two to come up with our own special blockchain-based version of registering and creating and having ownership of domain names and TLDs. So this is a very exciting time for us to be able to give this to the world. And we hope that it'll be received well, and that over time that people will begin to appreciate and realize what Exip and Mobiglotech have given to the world. So why do we need Exip? Well, as I was going through, and Sashi already referred to, the internet is not decentralized as we think it is. It's controlled. especially when we come to websites, which is pretty much, other than email, the websites are what makes the internet function, whether it's Facebook or whether it's, Twitter or whether it's WhatsApp. It ultimately boils down to working on the web and therefore working on domain names or addresses, internet addresses, as some people call it. So on a security and national threat level, or even from a privacy standpoint for individuals, the fact that they have no control over their own destiny is a shortcoming that has not been addressed in 35, 40 years since the internet went online. We are about to change that. Now, certain countries, being the power that they are, have managed to create their own little arenas for themselves, but for the individual, even for a big corporate. I mean, for even something like Facebook cannot create their own DNS. So that's what we are all about. So how can Exip help? Well, Exip is trying to form a safer internet through blockchain technology, and specifically allowing and coming up with something called an agnostic model, which essentially means that we are not even dependent on a particular type of blockchain. So we might start off with one type of blockchain, and as time goes by, if that blockchain begins to fail, if that blockchain begins to slow down, kind of like Ethereum, we have the option of just moving over to another blockchain. And our Exip token is also designed to be moved over. So once somebody owns an Exip token, and let's say originally we are offering it on the Binance chain, and let's say somebody owns a certain amount of Exip tokens on the Binance chain, and the Binance chain begins to slow down, it becomes expensive. All they simply got to do is inform us, send all their tokens back to us, and we might issue them a new token based on, let's say, the Zilliqa blockchain or some other blockchain that is more functional at that time. And we'll take their coins that they had on the Binance blockchain, we'll burn those tokens and give them a fresh new tokens on a different blockchain. So that, I think, is an absolutely unique tokenomic perspective, because I seriously doubt that anybody else, all the tokens, 10,000 tokens out there, I don't think anybody has come out with that. So we are very excited about that. Also, Exip is always going to be about community. Rather than even our own selves controlling it, we are going to put it out there. And as the Exip community grows, as the domains registered under Exip grows, as the TLDs registered under Exip grows, we are going to let the community make the decisions. Nobody is going to be able to come in and shut down a website, a TLD, because one person or two people or country do not like it. It'll have to be a community decision. And we have to have that simply because of the fact that there will be people at some point in time that are greatly abusive to both the system and to the rest of the world. A terrorist organization, for example. So at that point in time, it is necessary that we block them. It is necessary that we censor them. So we got the mechanism for that through the community decision-making process. So one of the, going through the benefits of Exip, the domain ownership is owned actually by the user. It's a one-time payment and they own it for life. Owned through an NFT. They can transfer it at any time they want. They can sell it to somebody. They can let other people in. It's theirs to control, not some unknown so-called non-profit organization who has to give us permission to do so. So once again, Exip is a complete blockchain-based ecosystem. And we are not going to stop with just the DNS. Once we we will come up with our own browser to access these easier. We will come up with our apps that will be loadable into other browsers in order to access the new domains and the TLDs. We will be putting together hosting facilities so that eventually when a person buys a TLD, it automatically is hosted for a small bandwidth, small wavelength, but they will immediately be online with a presence just by the fact that they're registering and buying their own domain name or TLD. The token economics of our thing is pretty simple. We are going to offer 1/10 the amount of tokens that Bitcoin offered. So it'll be 2.1 million tokens with the current market price of $10. That's what we are starting off with. It's going to be a seriously limited supply at 2.1 million tokens. And one of the wonderful things that we have managed to do and we plan to do is to reward our users. And that's to say, the token holders, Exip token holders, will buy the fact that they own the tokens, by the fact that they stake the tokens, get to earn money and be a part of the entire Exip network, from the browser to the DNS to the hosting facilities. They will be getting a little bit of a chunk on that. So the Exip token is going to be something phenomenal to hold over time. And well, hodling Exip, I think, would be a fantastic idea for anybody. But let's get through this initial offering. Let's get through selling all the tokens, and let's get this domain name, everything to do with the domain name, and making the internet freer and less controlled and more decentralized, and let that dream start coming through with Exip, blockchain, and the internet. We appreciate your time, and we hope you will join us in this venture of ours, and we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.